Good evening, YouTube. How y'all doing today? I'm coming to y'all with a review of some Black Frigate by Cornell&Diehl. This is a definitely an interesting smoke. It has rum flavoring in it, so it's flavored with rum. And the rum's pretty good in it. It's I find sometimes it kind of gives me a bite. I don't know if it's because I've smoked a few rum blends. So I got Mississippi River aged in a rum barrel, and that one has like a rum flavor, and I'll do a review on that one soon. But I find in this, the rum in this Black Frigate isn't as strong as the one in the Seattle Pipe Club Mississippi River aged in rum barrel. I find the rum flavor on that one's really strong, and it's got a bad bite on your mouth. But this one's not as bad. But this one, it definitely grabs a hold of your mouth with that rum and Latakia. The Latakia, and it has Latakia, it has Black Cavendish, and it has Oriental Turkish tobaccos in it, and it's blended fairly well, but I find that sometimes the rum has a good presentation on it, but then sometimes it's kind of strong. But in this one it comes out kind of strong sometimes. But that's a blend. It's a crumble cake, so it came out as a crumble cake, and I've torn it apart once I got it, broke it apart. But yeah, it's not a bad one. It was definitely one of my top picks at the beginning of the year, and then as time goes on, I guess I was getting a little tired of it. I was getting more of a bite to it, and that's even smoking it, slow and fast. Most of the time I'm smoking them kind of faster, but it definitely will get you some bite in the mouth. But it's good though. It is a good blend. The Latakia is nice in it. The Orientals are good. Nothing overpowers more than anything else in it, but except for the rum. The rum flavoring is pretty potent in this. The room note of it is not the greatest. It's tolerable, but it's definitely not the greatest. My wife don't really care for it too much. She said that one is a little too strong. Every time I tell her I'm going to smoke that one, she's like, "Oh man, that one's a harsh one for the room." But I am smoking it out of, and I'm about finished with this one. I ain't got much left on it. That's why I want to do a video before I finish it off, and didn't get to do the video on it because I finished it. But I'm smoking this out of, this is actually a pretty interesting pipe. It is a Medico. It is a Medico. It's a briar. It's a imported briar. It's called a Medalist Medico. And this pipe's really interesting because it's got tobacco leaves all engraved on it. This pipe is really interesting because whenever me and my wife bought our house we have now, and we moved in, we were probably here for a couple weeks, and we finally got everything moved into the house, and then we started to go through the house, and I went to our back bathroom, which is a real small bathroom. So I went back there and we started going through the closet. We weren't probably going to put much in it, just maybe some towels, just basic stuffs. We weren't going to use it, mostly just go to the bathroom, but weren't going to really plan to shower in it too much. It has one of those step-in jacuzzi tub, old people bathtubs or whatever, which is a pretty sweet bathtub. But I went into the closet, and I looked up, and the way the shelves are in there, it's a couple planks of wood that make a platform. But on the very top shelf, it was missing a lot of the planks. There was just maybe one plank, and it was kind of angled up like that, just a little hair. They had a pipe sitting at that very top shelf in the back of it. It was just hanging in there. I looked up and I said, "Is that a freaking pipe? What?" We always joked whenever we were buying our house. They had I do woodworking, so they had a couple old woodworking tools, like some little tiny small bandsaws and stuff like that. So I was like, man, it'd be cool. We found like something interesting, in the house when we moved in that the previous owners left behind. So when I seen that, I was like, I was tickled pink. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. I said, I smoke pipes. So I was like, someone left me a pipe, and the original homeowner had passed away years ago. And it was their house, and their family kind of took it over and just kind of stayed in it. And but he smoked pipes, from what I hear, but it was kind of hidden up there. I don't know if he was hiding it from the old lady or something like that, but we always kind of joked about it, like, oh man, he must have been hiding it in the bathroom. He'd go back there and smoke while he's taking a shower. I mean, a shower, a tub, a poop, something. But I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. I was like, dude, there's a pipe, man. So, and it looked like it was smoked out of pretty decent. So, but I mean, it's held up well. I looked into it. I found this one, and I want to say it was from the 60s, which sounds about right. The house was built in the early 50s. And so it was around, I think, like 50, maybe it was early, late 50s. I think I've seen these pipes before. But it's pretty interesting. Let me show you the stem. They make Medico filters, I was reading. So it's just kind of interesting. But definitely a unique find in the house. I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. Because I mean, you just don't expect to find that. But let's give her a go. It actually been smoking out of a decent amount lately. It's one of my non-aromatic pipes, more of an English blend pipe I use it for. So I don't use filters, so if you didn't notice, I don't have a filter in it, but which I don't think a lot of people, I haven't noticed a lot of people really put filters in their pipes, but I don't have a problem with this one getting ash or anything like that, really. I lied. I got a piece of tobacco in it. But the crumble cake breaks up really fine. So if you ain't putting some big leaves in there at first, you're going to get a little bit, and you don't have a filter like me, you'll get a little bit of tobacco coming down that stem. But it's a good smoke, though. I say a good smoke. It's definitely a good smoke, but it's definitely not high up on my list of favorite ones. And I guess it's just that rum comes out a little too strong in it. But like the first light, man, it's you get a fair amount of, I guess, latakia in it. It's good though. It's real not heavy. When it starts getting in there, then it gets a little when you got it smoking down a little more, it gets a little heavier. But I've been kind of pushing off making a video. It's Sunday, and I said I was going to do it Friday. I was off Friday. I'm on 410s for right now. I was going to do it Friday, and I pushed it off to Saturday. I figured every Saturday I would do a video. If I didn't necessarily post it on Friday, I'd make it Saturday at least. And if I post it on like Sunday. But I ended up pushing it today, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do one today, but I ended up doing it. And figured I would get a couple out there because I am going to start a plant turnaround at my job. So for 7 weeks, I'm going to get a day off every 2 weeks. So I'm going to be working 7/12. So I ain't going to have much time to smoke a pipe or make a video out of that. So I figured I would get a couple of them out there before I started that. We don't start that till after a week, and then we jump on it. And I'll be on night shift too, so we'll see how that goes. It'll actually be my first plant turnaround. I don't work in a plant a lot. I'm not a big plant person. Here in Louisiana, plants are real big. We actually share a border with Texas. I'm pretty close to Texas, so it takes an hour. I work in Texas actually, so it takes an hour to get to work every day into Texas. So I'm right here in Louisiana, but So we got a lot of plants around here, but I try to stay out of them as much as I could, but it's where the money is. So, but I'm mostly a commercial electrician. That's the biggest thing. We did a lot of casinos around here. Schools, we tend to do a little more schools. We built a couple schools. But you'll see I'm a little bundled up today. I got my shop door on lockdown, and we've been getting a lot of rain, a lot of cold rain. It's finally winter in Louisiana, at least South Louisiana. We're finally getting some cold weather. It's been low 30s. Today's a little warmer, but very wet. I mean, it's been raining for like 3 days now. And then we probably had maybe close to a week break, and then more rain, days of rain, and finally the cold weather got to us. And it's just been a little miserable. I get so used to the summers around here, 110. Humidity is almost 100%. I mean, you sweating before you even walk outside. It's crazy. But I kind of was getting used to that a little too much, and now that this little cold snap hit us, oh man, it's been miserable. It's been so cold, and I always used to love real cold weather, man. Jackets, I love wearing jackets. I hate sweating. I like to sweat, but I hate just getting so hot that it's just miserable. But so we finally got our cold for the year. I think it's supposed to stay around the 50s, the highs, but we'll see. Lows will be like 40, low or high 30s. So we'll kind of see how that goes. It's actually, I don't know how many times I've smoked this tobacco in this pipe. It's amazing how different pipes smoke different tobaccos differently. I'm actually getting I don't know how I like it. I'm actually getting a little bit of almost like a chemical. Not a chemical, but yeah, kind of something a little like that in there. Just like that bitter, like tobacco in there. The tobacco is not very damp or moist. It's actually fairly dry. Not dry, like too dry though. It's definitely a little on the drier side. It's actually pretty smooth though. I'm not getting a lot of. It's interesting how pipes smoke differently. Like I said, I'm not getting a lot of that rum in here now. In this pipe, I smoked it last night, and I smoked it out of my Peterson, but my Peterson spigot. But I was getting like real harsh rum. It was almost like a pure reek. Like it was just punch my mouth. But it's smoking pretty chill. I guess I'm letting it kind of smoke down. Cool, stay pretty cool. So maybe that's helping a little bit. But I am getting almost like a wet tobacco. Not wet tobacco, but kind of like that. Almost like a chemical, like damp, bitter tobacco. But all in all, it's not too bad. As I'm finishing up the bowl, as I'm finishing up the tobacco, I went to probably about an 8 on it out of 10, and I think it's decreased now that I'm getting to the end of the tobacco. Maybe just because I'm getting a little tired of it, finishing it up. I jump tobaccos pretty rapidly. I'm not if I could smoke like half a tin, I'd probably throw away the rest of it. I don't throw it away, but I'll just kind of put it up for a while. I like to move on to different tobaccos. I don't have a selection of like I'm gonna buy like 5 tins of this one tobacco. I get over them pretty quick and move on to a next one. I find there's just so many tobaccos out there to be tried, But all in all, it's a good smoke. It's not terrible. It's definitely worth a shot. If you like a nice heavy kind of Latitude Oriental rum aged kind of smoke, it is good. It'd be like that. But I hope y'all had a good holidays. Kind of ready to be done with the holidays for a little while. But hope y'all had a good holidays. Yeah, so let's see. It's not bad. Not too shabby. But man, I can't wait for fall to come around. Not fall. Spring to come around. Get some fishing in. It's been killing me not being able to fish. It's been too cold. I say too cold. The cold snap just really hit, but before winter hit, I was trying to go fishing, but I ended up having hernia surgery, so couldn't pull the kayak out. It was a little too heavy on weight restrictions. So once that warmer weather comes around, I'd like to get out there and do some fishing, some bass fishing or some white perch. Man, the white perch have been making a comeback over here. In my part of the country and part of the state of Louisiana, they have a river system. Man, it gets so affected by hurricanes that we have here. That's like the bass, man. I love bass fishing, but we're brackish water where I'm at, so you can catch saltwater fish, bass. You know, it's truly unique. But you can catch bass. I mean, speckled trout, redfish, red drum, drums, flounder, all in the same area. It's just it's incredible. It's awesome. But when I'm looking for a big fight, I go for the saltwater creatures. The Gulf of Mexico is, less than an hour away from where I'm at, so we can go fish the beaches over there in the Gulf. And I mean, you catch some sharks, catch some big old redfish, some big old red drum, but I like to do the bass fish. I like I don't know. There's just so many baits that you can use, and I find it's more competitive, bass fishing, but not as quite as with saltwater. You can use. I mean, the baits are pretty basic, they're all, you can pretty much throw them anything in, for the most part, they'll bite on damn near any, like a cockahoe, with lead head. They'll kind of bite on anything like that. They're not too picky on colors, not too picky. I mean, presentation, obviously, but kind of gets them differently. But I just find when it comes to bass, man, I mean, you got spin baits, your worms, just crankbaits. You got so much different baits out there, and it's just, you can be on them one day and I mean just absolutely not on them the next. I mean, it's just so many factors in it, and I mean that's all fishing really in general, but still can't wait to get out there and do that. But the white perch, man, after Rita, they kind of took a hit. They didn't come back too well after Rita, and then they started to make a comeback. I mean, probably freaking almost 10 years after Rita, and then we started seeing them a little bit more in the rivers over here, and man, getting excited because I've been wanting to fish them, but it's hard to find them. They weren't making a good comeback. So finally, I noticed that they were starting to appear more when I'd go out perch fishing and stuff like that. Finding out where they're hiding at, and really honing my skills on trying to catch them, but. Then Laura came around, and man, I was actually scared for it, just because, like, when it comes to fishing, because like, man, them white perch are finally starting to come back good, and now they're probably going to be all freaking killed off with the saltwater coming through, and just the weather, flooding. But we got lucky. It was mostly wind. Laura hit over here mostly with wind. So, man, I mean, I guess it was a little after Laura, a couple years after Laura, I went out and, oh man, every cast I was catching white perch. Man, I found them up under docks and stuff like that. Yeah, man, it was every cast I was catching them. And they're decent size. Our rivers over here, the bass tend not to get too big. I mean, if you catch a 4-pounder in the river around here, I mean, that's incredible. Like, people are crapping themselves. They're like, dude, what, a 4-pounder? 2-pounders are more common for sure, but not even close though. I mean, you're catching freaking barely pounds, you know, a pound here and there, but so it's good. It's starting to make a good comeback. I noticed they're having more tournaments and stuff like that, so it must be getting pretty good. Every now and again we'll get our some droughts. And when you got droughts, that saltwater tends to come up a little bit more. So them saltwater fish are coming up higher, and it just kind of it alters the fishing just a little bit. But so I do look forward to doing some fishing. Maybe for this turnaround. After this turnaround, I'll go get me a boat, because I fish out of kayak right now, which I absolutely love kayak fishing. I would like to get a Hobie Pro Angler, but for the same price, you can get a decent, you know, little aluminum boat. So I'm not too sure. I really do like kayak fishing though, which I'd like a bigger boat to put the family in. So I'm kind of leaning more towards that aspect of it. So, but it's actually a pretty light, nice smoke. I'm smoking it pretty slow with me talking so much. Usually I don't really talk when I smoke pipes, so I tend to smoke them a little faster because I'm not busy yapping. So it's actually smoking pretty cool. But I don't know if y'all see my other videos, but I kind of talked about that black Cavendish, how it kind of hits my palate kind of rough. I've noticed it with all black Cavendishes except for chocolate mousse. Chocolate mousse doesn't, I don't know what it is with chocolate mousse. It doesn't hit me as it just hits me differently. Like this has black Cavendish, and I can tell. It just, to me, my palate takes it as a wet, hot tobacco. So most of my aromatics that have black Cavendish, they're just I don't even get a lot of like that flavoring in it. It's just like a mouthful of wet tobacco to me. But this one, I'm kind of getting that one in this one a little bit, but it's not terrible. It's a good smoke, so I'm gonna finish this one off and let y'all go. But I didn't do too much talking on the tobacco, but there's only so much you can say about the tobacco. So, but I can kind of run down like the strength. The strength is medium. The flavoring in it is definitely medium. Room note, like I said, isn't the best. It's not a good one for the room. So you have to watch your confined spaces on the smell of this one. It's a little stronger. So people might dislike this one a little bit more out and around about, but definitely an outdoor smoker. The taste is definitely a medium to full, not too strong full. It's more of a medium, I guess. But all in all, I'd probably give it about a 6 out of 10. So go pick you up a little bit of them. They come in a 50-gram tin or an 8-ounce tin. So go get you a little one to try out. But I'll catch you guys on the next one.